We're going into Joyfull Smoothies, her first ebook ever with Alie. Alie, stoked to have you here and stoked to have your first ebook ever launching in the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle. How you doing?
I'm good, and I'm so glad to be here and super thankful for you guys having me in with super glad for all of this.
Heck yeah. Well, it's been a long time coming. We met years and years back, and you've been on this path for a long time, applying raw food and enjoying more smoothies and experiencing more joy in your life, which I guess leads us to this ebook creation. When did you start thinking about making this ebook?
Well, I guess I started thinking about it when people were telling me that I should make it because I was drinking smoothies everywhere I went, even before going vegan. I was
Mhm.
learning that you can have a whole just fruit. And growing up, we didn't have a ton of fruit. It
Mhm.
was mostly vegetables. But once
Mhm.
I got a little blender and started just making smoothies and bringing in a whole bottle or two with me everywhere. They started calling me the smoothie queen, and I was, what? I'm just drinking smoothies. How? What? So they were telling me that I should save it, and I was like, okay.
Mhm.
So I started saving in my notes app, and then once this bundle came about, and I learned that I could make a book on my phone through the Canva app.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let's do this. A lot of help from you and Lissa, and a lot of inspiration, and her pictures are just so inspiring,
Yeah.
beautiful. So I was like, I need to make nice pictures.
Mhm.
So yes, that's basically where it came from. It took me a few years, but I was able to add in some more recipes on the fly after
Yeah.
10 plus years of having smoothies practically every single day. It's almost second nature. Just throw it in and put the liquid and blend it up.
I love it. I love it. Well, your book is beautiful and it's an amazing addition to the bundle because, fresh fruits and smoothies are the backbone of a healthy fruit-based raw food diet and lifestyle, right? And how have smoothies and raw food changed your life?
Oh my gosh, I'd say the best thing is the energy and mentality,
Yeah.
and also less pain.
Mm.
Being a we have pains every month, and
Mhm.
I don't believe it to be natural. It just seems wrong to be in so much pain and so much discomfort. And once I started adding in foods and lots of smoothies, and the hydration
Yeah.
is really key,
Mhm.
the body really just reacted so fast to that. I was astounded. I wanted to share it with everyone. I was like, look, you just got to get all the processed and eat some more fruits and veggies, and you'll feel better. Like it's yeah. So that's what's helped with mentality and the pains mostly.
Yeah, well, those are some huge benefits, and I bet you if a lot of women recognize that that would actually make that big of a difference, they'd be even more likely just be like, "Let's get into this." I don't want to feel that every single month and have the cramps or the pains and need hot water bottles and stay away from me for a couple days and all that craziness that can happen when it's really rough, which is really really tough for people to go through.
It is, yeah. I found the simplicity of it is just, I'm always on the go. I'm kind of like, I don't like to sit and have breakfast unless it's and I'm with family, but still then I notice like cooked food to not sit so well. So I found, fruit to be the quickest, fastest,
Yeah.
and fuel. So having a smoothie on the go or two even, and love it. Yeah, I would share with friends, and if they liked it, I would check box it and put it in my list. And I've made a few for families specifically
Mhm.
for them. And of the book, I actually sectioned it out into sweet, savory, so that's more veggie based,
Mhm.
tart, and creamy. So creamy is kind of like some like a little bit more fats in their
Yeah.
smoothies. Maybe they have dessert because they do the raw all day, and they have some veggies and fats and kind of like that. And you
Mhm.
also have the option to make it non-fat or low fat by substituting some creamier fruits like
Mhm.
bananas and mangoes. They're so good. But
You're so good.
yeah, the smoothies, I'm not a big tart person, so
Yeah.
that one is specifically for friends and family that really like extra. It's fun though, being able to make it and have them test it and be like worthy enough to go in the book. And then
Mm.
when they say I'm like, yes.
Good. Yeah, 'Cause different taste buds and different palates make the world go around, right? And that's one of the beautiful things that I'm
Mm.
hearing from your book and also from the bundle as well, is that there are different flavors and different preferences for different spice mixes or non-spice or, mixtures, all those kinds of things that can meet everyone where their palate's at. And then it's fun to explore, right? It's fun to explore those different ones because even if you don't like the tart ones, I bet you enjoy tasting a little bit of it, huh?
Yeah, I was like, "Ooh, that one's really tart," and then another one was like, "Oh, I actually probably could that one. That one's not too bad."
Yeah,
And some of them are just like for them sour candy lovers, people that used
yeah.
to eat sour candy. Like this one will definitely recreate that and give you that when you try it. So
Making my mouth
those are
water
good.
right now just thinking about it 'cause I used to like those sour candies and, I'm kinda similar. I'm a bit of a sweet hound, like, I went years without even using a lemon or lime in any recipe at all. Nowadays, I do use them occasionally, and I like stuff, but, I mean, this sucker here is pretty darn sweet. Can you guess what you think this is here?
I'm thinking it's like mango and orange with bananas.
Oh, well, you got one of them right. There is orange in there, but then there's something else.
Hmm. So it doesn't have either of the other ones in there?
No?
What would make it creamy like that? Interesting. And sometimes you get over here, at least in my small of the
Well, these
woods.
are super common fruits.
Hmm.
You want me to tell you?
Is
Or
it
you want me
apples?
no, no, no. They are seasonal, but they are common, and they're round, and, they can be pretty big. Uh, and there's
Grapefruit?
many no, many different varieties. No.
Hmm. Hmm. This is a fun guessing game. So you oranges in there, but
Mhm,
then some other round seasonal fruit.
mhm.
Hmm. Seasonal. I don't. You're gonna tell me, and I'm gonna be like, oh.
It is I'll admit if you I don't wanna assume you've been seeing my stories, but I have been making it often my stories lately as well. Um, and it reminds me of an old popsicle that I used to get, that was orange colored, and, I used to get it when the Dickie D would go around and be like, "Ding, ding, ding, ice cream," you know? Uh, it's an orange creamsicle, so what it has is, golden honeydew and oranges.
Ah, I know.
Mhm,
Yeah, the melons. Wait, I yesterday I had the melon on our live,
mhm.
and that was really good after. And I got 3 liters
Wow,
after that. After I had eaten,
wow,
and like one of them giant ones, it was like a medium size. So
yeah,
that was exciting.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, honeydews are pretty mild to me. I'm a big fan of the cantaloupe and the you got me onto the Santa Claus melon. They're like sweet, juicy, and crunchy. Like they have a different texture than any melon. And then the sugar kiss, those ones are rare. I haven't had one of those in years, and those are a good one.
Dang,
But
that sounds like you
I
might be
do.
getting different ones than me, though. The Santa Claus I get are usually actually really soft and juicy rather than crispy.
Mhm.
What's it called? Hammy melons, those are really crispy. Um,
Mm, I think we get those ones.
yeah, those are really good too. Out here, we get a little bit different variety than some melons that I've gotten as well, and, these ones are like the yellow outside honeydews. In Canada, I usually would get like the creamy, kinda greenish white honeydews that almost feel velvety sometimes, but,
Hmm.
yeah, melons are one of my favorite, and coming into spring, it seems like we got a lot of melons coming in soon. So do you
Yeah,
have
and
a favorite?
it's neat.
Sorry, go ahead.
Mm? Do I have a
Do
favorite?
you have a favorite smoothie from your book or a favorite few that are like your go-tos or the ones that
Oh.
if someone was just gonna try one, and you don't even have to say what's in it, but do you have one that's in there that's like just your absolute favorite?
Well, you said orange. So I have an orange dreamsicle, and it doesn't have
Mm.
melon. I don't have any melon in my recipes
Mhm.
for smoothies, surprisingly, but maybe for another recipe book that'll have multiple more smoothies
Extra
in
good.
it.
Mm.
So that one's really good. I prefer orange juice
Yeah,
versus the oranges,
yeah.
but it does have both in there and an optional spice. So
Oh, cool.
for some people that like a little creamier flavor, that is in there. I have to get
Ooh,
the bundle to see what it is.
yeah.
But another one I made that actually has greens in it. It's optional, but it's really good. because you can't really taste it. It's super bright and vibrant, is the trail. And you can substitute any other dark greens like spinach or whatever fancies your taste buds. So that one, I like the tropical ones closer to summer. And then in the wintertime, of course, the dating. I got that idea from you when you started putting hot water with dates, and I can't usually have any dates at once. It's like, holy man, you like your thick smoothies. I'm a little bit thinner. I like it more on the just past a juice stage. And so I make a tea, and then I put in some additional optional like hemp seeds to make it creamy.
Extra creamy,
Depending
like
on
a hot chocolate with a little bit of cream in it.
Yes, but it's a hot Thai.
Hot chai?
Yeah, one of my favorites is the Thai because of the warming spices, the cinnamon, the ginger, all of that. And secondly, I'm not a huge chocolate fan. A lot of people, especially women, love chocolate, but I think I get enough magnesium from all the bananas that I eat. I'm not a chocolate person, and I'm pretty sensitive to it. What is it? The theobrine in it? Is that the one? Is that what it is? Yeah, I can be pretty sensitive to it, but surprisingly, I can have green tea and just be fine.
Interesting. Well, it's good to know yourself, and they say, "Know thyself, and to thine own self be true," right? And if it doesn't resonate, then why try and force it, right?
Yeah, so I have a couple of those recipes in there too that do have, like, I have a chocolate mint, which is, I believe, called After 8. We used to have those thin, like really thin, thinner than thin mints. Do you remember them back in Canada? I mean, like a rectangle box.
A little box, and it reminds me of like Trivial Pursuit for some reason. I don't know why. I think like kind of similar colors and like similar box shape. All the cards.
Yeah. Yeah. So that one kind of reminded me of home. And then I did. I feel like I did another chocolate. I think it's the Snickers, because that one I know my family really likes because they're big on chocolate and nuts and that kind of stuff. So I did that one's a little bit more complicated for if you use peanuts, because peanut butter isn't typically raw. So I actually felt how to sprout raw peanuts and re-dehydrate them and turn them into peanut butter, and it's so fresh. It doesn't have that. I don't know. I've tasted a bunch of peanut butters before, and I've never been a fan, but after making raw peanut butter, I can
amazing.
enjoy that.
Especially in a smoothie. 'Cause I'll admit I used to love Snickers bars, so a Snickers smoothie sounds ridiculous, and that's awesome.
You're gonna have to try it.
Carl, Gratitude Spirit saying grateful for more smoothie recipes. That's awesome. I think everyone could enjoy more smoothies in their life. And he also just mentioned Canadians are so kind. Should we turn up the anger and show him that he's totally wrong and Canadians are mean?
Get back to our first year of veganism when we're mad about everything.
Stop commenting. Oh gosh.
Yeah. So I'd actually said, because the bundle was, if you're gonna have a recipe book, you needed minimum, what was it, 20 recipes. So I was like, let's round it up to 21, because that's like 3 weeks, 7 smoothies a week, a different day. And then I just ended up going further and further, and I was like, well, I might as well make a month's worth of smoothies then. So think it's 30 smoothies plus a bonus juice shot. And I put the juice shot in there because it's like it's an immunity booster, and it's anti-inflammatory, helps with the pain. It's something I've taken a lot throughout the years. I used to have seasonal sickness, actually, and not like allergies. Like most people, would just be, a little bit stuffy nails, the sinus kind of stuff. And then once I transferred over to only, like, I had gone so long without going sick that I was like, there's something to this for sure. So I like the juice shots in there. I can blend it and strain it, or you can put it through the juicer, or you can use even just spices and add it with homemade juice, and away you go.
I love that. I love that. It's fun to be able to add juices into smoothies, and I don't see too many people doing that. So that's a really kind of fun extra kind of tip if you want to improve the texture of certain ones, or if you're sensitive to texture and fibers or anything like that. That's amazing. And how has your family responded? Like I know you said that they, tasted some of these recipes, but over the years and the decade of adding more smoothies, have they started adding more smoothies to their life too, or any friends you've seen it kind of ripple out to a little bit?
I think a couple friends went and got blenders,
Mhm,
but when they see the price of say mix or a
mhm,
high speed blender, they're like, whoa, or the juicer even. I'm just like, you it because of your health and you're spending
mhm,
less time cooking, so you're saving money on the
mhm,
power bill.
mhm.
Plus, it's such an easy cleanup. It's really quick. You use the blender, possibly cutting board and knife, and then you clean it out after, and it's so fast.
Yeah.
It's so quick, and we went about a year, just under a year without the Vitamix, and I had gotten the glass blenders from the grocery store,
Oh,
and it did not make it smooth. It reminded me of when you were traveling and you just took your hand blender and all chunky, and I'm like, I
yeah,
can't do this. I'm
no,
not a smoothie bowl girl. I
no,
can't sit and eat smoothie. I need to drink my smoothie.
I hear you. I
So
prefer to do the same. I mean, I don't mind some dishes like maybe a stew or a salad, with chunky bits, but when I'm having my smoothie, most of the time I like it to be pretty smooth. Like I
yeah.
know some people like to have their smoothie bowl with say, what's it called? Passion fruit in it. And for me, that just totally ruins it because it's like, oh, that's too crunchy. Like we got a question here.
Same. I'm like that.
Yeah, because some people
Mhm.
just love it. And I'm like, no, 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 no. What do you think about some questions here? What do you
Sure.
do when you are out to eat with friends or family if you're raw? You wanna share anything on that fun?
Well, I'm high raw, but when I am raw, I try to eat before I go.
Mhm,
When I was doing all raw for an entire year back home, I would just
mhm,
bring a smoothie with me or a pre-made salad
mhm,
that I'd make, put it in a big container,
mhm.
and then bring my own salad dressing. And I still do that sometimes.
Yep,
And it takes, so as people, they're eating for a little while because there's a bunch of different foods and something to do while you're chatting. And
mm,
I can get nervous around a ton of people and not really chatty.
yeah,
So I find the salad to be the best. And I chop my salad up pretty fine, minced, but pretty
mhm,
fine, where it's like
mhm.
I can shovel it in. I
Yeah,
like to
not
eat my
the
salad with a
least.
spoon. Yeah, the leaves, the salad dressing all over my face. I'm like, no thanks.
Team spoon, team spoon.
Yeah,
I'm the
team
same.
spoon.
I eat everything with a spoon. I can't do the fork.
Uh,
I'm very
can't do
similar.
it.
I do the same. I, like, eat before and often, like, eat until I'm totally full before, so I don't even worry about food, but bringing your own, making something special if you're going out on a special occasion, or calling ahead sometimes and asking if it's okay to bring like your
Mhm.
own avocado or your own dressing, stuff like that. And then really, often just reflect back. It's just one meal. I'm here to connect with people. If it's not my most amazing meal or filling meal ever, who cares? Let's be here with people, and then make sure I eat before or after. Hopefully that helps,
Yeah,
Eric.
and most times, any restaurant you go to has salad ingredients.
Yeah.
And they have, there's usually vegetables on the menu. Most of the time they steam it or boil it.
Mhm.
And coming from working at restaurants, you just ask for it added onto your salad
Yeah.
but raw. So like if it says there's in cauliflower, sometimes though they do have like the frozen mix, so we know that that is blanched ahead of time, but
Mhm.
just say all raw. And then avocado. Sometimes the guacamole is fresh. If
Mhm.
you're okay with asking, like the
Mhm.
longer you get on this and the more you do it, the easier it is to get
Yeah.
to it. I also worked at multiple restaurants
Yeah.
at once.
Yeah.
So I transitioned while I was working at two different restaurants, two different styles of restaurants.
Mhm.
So the one restaurant I worked at was a food place. So it was really easy to
Mhm.
get raw, and I was also still eating foods.
Mhm.
So the one dish I would have is called a kung tofu ding. So it's like
Oh, wow. Yeah.
like spicy, saucy veg and rice. And then a time I would get just this giant bowl. I was like, give me your big bowl where they put their in, and
Mhm.
then fill it with just all the raw veggies, salads, and stuff like that. And then I would add some rice to it because it was nighttime usually working. And then I would put Italian dressing and sweet chili sauce. And I would just munch on that while I was working and have my smoothie and away. So if anybody ever would ask me to substitute, I was happy to,
Mhm.
because it's so easy to do. And places like Subway, I know it's fast food restaurant, but I worked there before too, and I would just take the little ones that some of
Mhm.
the veggies are in, and,
Mhm.
and I would just chop some stuff up, put it in there, a little bit of dressing, and
Mhm.
have a giant salad
Heck yeah.
instead of all the bread.
Yeah, heck
Yeah.
yeah. I've definitely had, say or Subway sorry, some Subway salads in a pinch, airports and stuff like that, and, booster juices, and I've even brought, like, my own bananas or my own dates to a booster juice or even to a bar and been like, "Can you please make a smoothie for me?" Like, "I'll give you $5, just to blend it for me and give it to me in a beer jug," and it I like to kind of, recognize that for the absolute most part, like, servers are there to serve you, like, restaurants wanna make you happy, and I wouldn't go to
And
a
they want
raw
the
restaurant.
business too.
They want the business, yeah, like, I wouldn't go to a restaurant with a whole bunch of raw foodists and expect them to, make smoothies for all of us, but if I'm going with a bunch of people that are eating off their regular menu, I'm like I used to be kind of ashamed and afraid and feel weird asking, but now it's just like, they're here to serve me, that's fine, like but, yeah, that's,
Yeah.
can make it a lot easier. But
Yeah.
I'm curious about the Joyfull Smoothies. Where'd you get the name, and what kinda prompted that? How was that
So
story?
that one was actually Lissa.
Mm,
I had asked her something else. I don't know exactly what it was that I asked, but then she came up with a list of names
mm,
for the book. So she had a name like the Joyful Smoothies Kitchen or something like that. So I shortened it to Joyful Smoothies because
mhm,
I just live off of being joyful, and I'm
mm,
very, spiritual and connected, and just, you know, joy is not something someone can take away from you, because even if you are down and feeling out, that joy is because you see the good side of it.
mhm,
Things like people believe in everything happens for a reason, whether it's good or bad. It's it can be tough for some people, but it's a learning curve, a
yeah.
learning journey. It's all of that. My cat is meowing at me from outside. Oh my goodness. I
You gonna
told
let
you
him
I'd be
in?
distracted out there.
You can let him in if you need to. Poor kitty.
Ah.
Don't have to, though.
Yes.
Oh, Eliza's saying hello. We'll say, "Hello."
Hello. Yeah, so I figured that, and then the little description afterwards is just it's always on the go. I'm always quick when I'm making my smoothies, so I'm just like, I want really quick, non-complicated smoothies. Might throw in a couple in there, a little bit extra ingredients, a little bit extra
Mhm,
steps, but once you do that big step, you have a bunch more for later on, like those
mhm.
sprouted peanuts and homemade peanut butter and that
Dang,
kind of
that's really cool.
stuff.
I
So
wanna dig into that. I'll admit I've been so busy, so I haven't seen every single recipe in your book, but I know it looks really beautiful, and we got another question from Carl. This is an interesting one.
oh,
Do you guys think 4 liters of smoothies most days is too much? Includes lettuce, arugula, flax? Thank you. What do you think?
I think that's a lot. I think liters of juice a day is a lot, especially if you're I don't know. I've done a few juice fasts, and I don't fully believe in them. I believe in adding juices to your days, but not doing all juices.
Mhm,
And I mean, I've seen your 2 liters, but I cannot imagine having more than that, because our typical hydration of the day is about 2 liters, or half your body weight in ounces.
mhm,
So 2 liters is a lot, and that could be a meal and a half. It could be 2 meals.
mhm,
It really depends on the calories. If you're putting greens and stuff like that, you're basically drinking a soup
mhm.
with a little bit of fats in there. there, which would be good, but that'll clear it right out. And if you're doing that, I mean, some people do liquids where they're having smoothies. Now, I'm not against that because some people have, like Nate has in the bundle, he's got so he had dental surgery last year. I also had dental surgery last year, not as intense as his. It was just with teeth and I had an infection, but if I had that book, I would have remembered to have like smoothies
make it a
instead
little
of all the
easier.
other stuff. But yeah, but if you prefer have a lot of lists, then just know it's going to go through you, and keep up with the calories, because when you're having the lower calorie vegetables, you do need more of it. But that's why we like to call it like fruit based, or have your fruits first. Try to have a lot first thing in the morning so you're not craving the high calorie energy producing fruits at nighttime. So a lot of people will do that. They have more vegetables and a little bit of fruit, and then they're still craving high calorie cooked foods or sugary desserts and stuff like that. So that's what I think on it. You're into nutrition. I ask you for questions that I definitely don't know anything, because you have the education. So you
Oh,
chime in on that.
you got lots, and you're answering honestly from your experience and what you see too, and I think that's perfect because it really depends. Like the little bit side tangent on there is it really depends on who you are. Like how much you weigh, your caloric needs, and your activity level. Because whereas for you 2 liters is ridiculous, for me 2 liters is a very normal smoothie, and sometimes it's too little. Like sometimes I'll drink 2.5 liters or 3 at the most, but 2 liters is really normal for me. And if I eat 2 meals a day, sometimes it is 4 liters. But it's kind of funny, right? Because like for me, 15 to 18 bananas reliably is about 2 liters. And I almost never put water in it. I usually drink water first, so I'm really well hydrated, and I drink 2 liters of smoothie. And there have been some days.
Basically pudding at that.
No, it's amazing. Just bananas is actually like quite liquidy. Like when they're really ripe and they're blended, it's like it pours. Like it's way more liquidy than you'd think. But I have had times, like I said, that's 15 bananas in a smoothie, right? For 2 liters, so maybe 18 if they're a little smaller. But I've had up to 64 bananas in a day before. So that would be like 8 liters. So even more than that. So like I've had days where I've had that much, but those would be exceptionally busy days. And when I was that busy, it was actually appropriate. So it's kind of funny because it's like it's a hard answer to make a blanket statement for everyone, of course, because for a less athletic, smaller person, it could be 4 liters could be obnoxious. Like that'd be forcing it and would be overburdening and be horrible. But for a larger athletic person, 4 liters might not even be enough. So it does depend, and you're so right on that. The hydration factor and the caloric density of certain foods. Like if you're mostly doing like strawberries and lettuce, well, you're not going to be getting a lot of calories. If I'm eating bananas, I need 8 pounds a day on average. If I'm eating watermelon, I need like 25 pounds. Like because of the different amount of caloric density, and that would be like 8+ liters of watermelon juice compared to like 4 liters of bananas. So
And people
it's pretty well.
Yeah, and people don't even get that much in when they are juice fasting. Like I think the
Oh
max
yeah,
I've seen is like 6 liters, but some people, like you said, if they're really active,
yeah.
but we got to remember that water is important too,
Oh
just from living foods, but like living water, which
yeah.
I talk a little bit about in my. But some people, they have a harder time chewing. I know I have a godmother. She's got denture, so she has a hard time chewing, so she prefers soups or smoothies
Mhm.
or even juices. So I try to get, if I'm going to do more greens, then I'll try to juice them so that way I get more minerals. But if the fiber, then I do have some green smoothies. I don't have a list of just green smoothies, because a lot of the tropical ones you can just add greens to it.
Yeah,
Even the sweet ones, technically any smoothie, honestly, you could throw greens in there.
yeah.
It really depends on your taste preference.
Mhm.
But yeah, some people do good with fat first thing in the morning
Mhm.
because it helps, slow things down, and then they're not
Mhm.
as hungry as fast. But some people, like you and I think, would do fat with our fruit, at least not
Mhm.
too often,
Mhm.
because then we don't absorb as much of the nutrients from the fruit, and then some of the sugars like stay in the bloodstream. I've heard that too, where it's like
Mhm.
the fat can kind of slow down the absorption of the, what is it, glucose or the fructose or something like that, and then you have like a higher blood sugar level, and
Mhm.
people get afraid of that, and it's like, just cut out the fat or just have fats with veggies and
Yeah.
lower sweet fruits, kind of like green apples
Mhm.
or lemons or limes or the citrus, like those kind of do somewhat okay with it, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And different types of fruit impact insulin function a little differently. Like really sweet fruits like dates and bananas are going to be a little bit more impactful, especially when it's bigger quantities in fat and sweet together. Like classic, nut and date balls. They're going to be a little bit more impactful on the insulin function. Whereas something like acid fruit, like orange or pineapple or lemon or lime with fat, can actually help and be useful. So like like I like to make like an orange curry sometimes with oranges and a bit of hemp seeds and some sun dried tomatoes, and when you mix it with vegetables too, like you mentioned, then that's just a nice synergy where it's all slowed down a little bit and the nutrients all kind of collaborate with each other and enhance the absorption of certain nutrients and minerals as well, which is kind of nice. Like to get as much as you can from food, right? Rather than
Yep.
less.
Yeah, and if drinking the nutrients helps you get it faster than sitting there and having a giant salad, then power to see people do that, where they're like, they make their salad and then they just put it in a blender, and a good high speed blender will do that. And if you have a sauce already made or the
Mhm.
ingredients for the sauce and you put that in, like we have the savory fruits too, like which is
Yeah.
technically a melon,
Mhm.
and tomatoes, and I've seen people
Mhm.
do mangoes in sauces, which to
Mhm.
me, I'm like, I'm not anywhere that has that much mangoes
Wow.
that I would put it in a sauce. I eat them. They're
Yeah,
just that precious to me.
that's
I'm
so
like, I
good.
just need to eat it
Yeah.
or put it in a smoothie if they come frozen. But people put those in for sauces, and then you mix the veggies, and there you go, have a soup basically.
That's yeah, yeah. What's the difference between a smoothie and a soup? That could be a question, right?
Yeah, because there are fruit soups
Oh
like
yeah.
gazpachos
Just like it.
and that kind of stuff, or like a
Yeah.
smoothie bowl would be considered similar to a soup
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you're gonna spoon to it,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
ice cream. So if it's frozen, then it's like sorbet or ice cream. What's the difference between those, right? One's
Yeah.
creamier, one's still creamy, but more of the sugar fruits. I guess bananas are higher on the sugar field, the sweeter fruits, but
Mhm.
they're typically the base for ice cream. And so,
Mhm.
yeah.
I apologize. We're getting so many comments, but there's too many to answer to. So many of them. Thank you everyone for the love and for the comments that we got here. I love your recipes
Oh, thank you.
and let's see. Yeah, lots of fun. This is a fun one. Hello. Hey, watermelon lime, but she's cranberry merlin here. And
Oh,
yeah, I apologize.
I didn't know what it said. So
Oh, sorry. I'll
can you
get you
read it
back.
to me?
Yep. Yeah. Cat on my lap while watching. One of the best. One of the
Oh,
best
that
ever.
is the best.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Someone
We call
asked.
it kitty paralysis. Can't get
Yeah.
up because
I'm
you're
sorry. I
too
can't
comfy.
leave. I can't come out tonight. I have a kitty on my lap. Mm, mm. It's an interesting question. Is it okay to buy coconut water on the shelf? I haven't yet. I mean, it's so funny. I mean, it depends on what your goals are, right? Like, it depends what your comfort level is. Like, I don't think there's any okay or right or wrong, right? It's just like, does that fit what you want to
Yeah,
do?
exactly. Like when I was first transition, I tried whatever our grocery store had because we didn't have all those um plant-based stuff. Like we barely even had plant milk at the time. So
Mm,
if I saw something like that, I would try it out. And it really depends on your budget. Like I've always been on frugal frugal life. So if it's, $5 for 2 liters, I can get 2 bundles of bananas. I go for the bananas,
Mhm.
and I'm not going to pay $5 for water that has, been buzzed and
Yeah.
has maybe some electrolytes still in it. I only ever found one brand. I think it's Nirvana. It's a green
Mhm.
label. Comes from Thailand, and that that's good coconuts. But I would get it. I would only get the one in the bottle.
Mhm.
I wouldn't get the one in the cans because I could tell the difference. I could taste the difference with it
Mhm.
sitting in a can versus and
Yeah.
that was the one I would splurge on. I'd see it at my health food store. I saw it this past weekend, actually, on Friday. The day bundle started. We were in the city, so I went to the Asian mod as much cool stuff as I could get. And yeah, so I saw that coconut water. It's like, it's okay, but I didn't get it because it was in the can. I was like, nope, the one in the glass was the best.
Mhm.
And I'm actually a water connoisseur now. So
Right.
I deal with
Well,
water business
mhm.
and living waters
Mhm.
and that kind of stuff. So I definitely like to educate people on living hydration. So not only the foods that we
Mhm.
eat, water that we put in. So if you're apt to eating more fruits and vegetables in their raw form, then I encourage you to look into living hydrogenated rich water. So I talk about negative ions and positive ions, and we have this ORP meter, so oxygen reduction potential.
Mhm.
So if you know earthing or grounding, you go outside, negative ions, and you feel better, right?
Mhm.
So imagine if you're drinking 2 to 4 liters of water every day and you're putting positive ions into your body. What
Mhm.
does positive ions do? They
Right. Yeah.
oxidize. And
Mhm.
if we're always trying to find antioxidants like
Mhm.
blueberries and dark cruciferous vegetables and fruits, we can get that from water, which it's
Mhm.
very rare to
Mhm.
get it natural these days because of the pollution and
Mhm.
the transport. And once you get it from like a fresh spring, it only stays negative for so many days,
Mhm.
and that can be really hard for people to go back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And another one is the water industry isn't, what is the word, it isn't like checked,
Right. Yeah.
so
No
they
regulation.
can regulate it, that's the word,
Mhm.
not regulated. So it can
Mhm.
say spring water and natural and all of that. It can have so many contaminants in it
Yeah.
that they don't have to limit. It's positively ionized, it's
Yeah.
not negatively ionized.
Mhm.
So the kind of water that I deal with and I help get into people's homes can go up to negative 800,
Oh, wow.
whereas the water comes out of your tap is usually positive 2 to 3 or more,
Mhm.
which is very oxidized. So if we're
Mhm.
constantly putting oxygenated water in our body, it's like you're resting like an apple,
Mhm.
when you cut into it and you don't put lemon juice on it, which
Mhm.
then your oxygen. And another thing is filter is really important. You know that because you drink
Mhm.
RO water, right? But that's pure water. So
Mhm.
then when you're drinking so much pure water, you're
Mhm.
actually watering down your because
Mhm.
there's no minerals.
Mhm.
And living high raw, you do minerals, so you don't have to worry too much about it. But when you think of how much water you drink in a day,
Mhm.
it's beneficial to be able to add in natural minerals. So our system, it keeps natural minerals. So you got the sodium, the potassium, the magnesium, and I think there's more. And it keeps it in it. And those minerals need to be in the water to be able to be hydrogenated. So we call it ERW, electrically reduced water. So in nature, rivers are flowing.
Mhm.
So it's getting electrified from the earth, and sometimes it's getting filtered as well. If you were to go out into nature, nature and try and do that, you would need to get it tested.
Yeah,
So,
especially nowadays.
yeah,
Yeah. It's
yeah.
a such a
So
fascinating topic, water.
it is.
Water, and it's like one of the things we require the most. We're basically bags of water.
Exactly. We're 80% water, and it's just so fascinating. I used to think like I knew something was wrong with it, but I didn't know what. I didn't have the skills or know-how or people in this industry to talk to, but I did know that eating living foods and the watermelon juice, the orange juice, greens juices, it really helped up my hydration. So it was hard for me to drink water, but if I made juice or a smoothie with, part water in it, then I could get more hydration in. It just helps everything flow more. But now I'm like, I'm not drinking any other waters. To
Mm,
get back onto that question of is, coconut water from the shelf okay?
mm,
I would personally say, as a water connoisseur, it's not, because
mm,
it's not fresh anymore. It's been on the
mm,
shelf for who knows how. It's been
mm,
pasteurized, so a lot of nutrients have been taken out. It's kind of like going to go for juice that's been pasteurized and it's on the shelf. It's basically the same thing. There's just less in it. You have more calories in a juice if you were to go for one of those pasteurized juices.
mhm,
And the fresh coconut, when you get a fresh young coconut like we had at Costa
mhm.
Rica,
That's the
that
best.
is the best. Like, that's electrolytes. It is been used in wars for IV replacement,
Mhm,
and it is fully living. I haven't taken an ORP meter to it. I'm sure there are people in the industry that have, but
mhm,
I'm excited to see how electrifying coconut water is, fresh coconut water. If
mhm.
you're to get bottled coconut water, it would have to be fresh bottled coconut water, in my honest opinion, from how much I've been studying all the
Yeah,
water these days.
especially on a scale of, like, crappy tap water all the way over to coconut water. It's not gonna be near that coconut water, that's for sure.
Yeah, and there's some raw foodies that will not drink water,
Yeah,
but they drink coconut water.
yeah,
So that's why I think away with it. If you're not
mm,
drinking water, but you're eating nothing but fruits and vegetables, it really depends on, the color of your urine by the end of the day.
yeah,
And, like how hydrating fruits and vegetables you're having, how much juices you're having.
mm,
But again, a lot of people say, like Nate and Lissa, they say you still want to rinse out your mouth
mm,
with clean water
mm,
in order to like get the bacteria and stuff off, because we brush as soon as we've eaten
yeah.
something like that and actually wreck our enamel, right?
Yeah, especially acid fruits and stuff, and you can soften the enamel if you then you all of a sudden brush, especially with something like baking soda. Because I know some people are like, "Oh, I had acid fruit, so I better take baking soda and brush real quick," and that's pretty
Oh,
much the worst thing you could do for your tooth health. So
hmm,
good to point that out, and it is just amazing, the different qualities of water, and hydration is just so important. And when you're eating a diet of fruits and vegetables, yeah, you get a heck of a lot more water, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get all your water needs met. Um, so yeah, that's someone here is saying, and fruits and vegetables are basically bags of water too. Very tasty water though, and
yes,
yeah,
very, very tasty water with
yeah,
um, minerals and electrolytes and sugars and fiber. Oh, yeah. So
yeah,
it's not fruit isn't sugar. It has sugar, but it
yeah.
also has hydration and
Mhm.
calories and
Ooh, look at
carbohydrates,
this.
exactly what our body runs off of, right?
About to buy the bundle. That's awesome. Yeah, and, just
Yay!
so everyone knows, if anyone's new here, both of us are a part of the Ultimate Raw Vegan Bundle that's only available until the 11th, and you can grab it, $1,500 worth of stuff for just 50 bucks in either of our links. Well, someone asked about the recipe. I'll just briefly mention that one last time. It was actually oranges and honeydew, and, I call it orange creamsicle. But if you want the real deal with all the different smoothies, you're gonna wanna get Joyfull Smoothies, in the bundle by Alie, which is, showcasing a lot of different flavors and different styles of smoothies. So you guys are gonna wanna check all of that out for sure. So this has been awesome, Alie. I know you have another live pretty soon here. I apologize, I went a little bit longer than we initially said. But,
That's okay. We
is
got
there anything that, actually, I wanted to ask too,
Mhm.
Where can everyone find you? Like, I know your Instagram, I'm gonna have that, and, is there anything else you want me to share?
Yeah, so I cross post everything from Instagram to Facebook. So Alie on Baba, so ALIEOMBABA, and it's the same on YouTube. I'm not as active on there, but since doing this, I might be.
Nice.
But with the company I'm working with, it's all over the place. So I just try to post on Instagram and it cross posts to Facebook.
Mhm,
So Facebook, I believe, is just Alibaba. I tried to put my full name in there, but if you go to
mhm.
search it, it doesn't show up.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, Alibaba book, and I'm pretty responsive. If you have any questions, then I like to get to them as fast as I can, and I really like talking to new people, meeting people along their health journeys, and discussing hydration and
Nice.
foods. I'm big on that. So yeah.
Love it. Well, it comes through, and just so blessed that you're part of the bundle, and to see you raising up and creating that book from all the times we spent together enjoying the smoothies and foods and nature out in Costa Rica and other places like that. I'm excited to meet you again out in another, hopefully another festival out here sometime soon, or just out and about. Is there anything you want to share before we go here? Out and about, out and about.
Yeah. Out and about. Just going out for a rip party, bud. We're both Canadian, and we've both Canada to go
Sorry,
find
eh?
fruits.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Canada.
eh?
Sorry, eh?
Uh, yeah,
Oh,
I just been enjoying this so much, and I'm so appreciative for all of you coming together, bringing this bundle, and I can't wait for next year's. And we've got only a few more left of the bundle, so everybody, click the links down below. Whoever you'd like to, support. It's no big deal to anyone of it. We just want to help people on their health journey and grab it before it goes up.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you again so much, Ali. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. It's definitely been a pleasure here. And I'll be sharing this all over my website and everywhere else. And thanks, everyone, for being live with us.
Thank you for having me, Chris.
Of course, of course. See you in the background, and have an awesome rest of your day. Much peace, love, and
You
seasonal
too.
fruit, everyone. Goodbye.